Most entrepreneurs want more money and more freedom. I'm going to tell you how to use AI to get both. Most entrepreneurs want more money and more freedom. They want more money coming in, they want a higher income, they want more wealth in the bank, and they want more control over their time. This is actually a great reason to start a business, but it's often very difficult, and many entrepreneurs struggle to get there. Part of the reason for this is that when an entrepreneur starts a business, they're often at the very center of the business and they have most of the knowledge and skills to do the serious work. And this places them in a bind. They have limited time, they have limited time to do the work themselves, which makes it very difficult to scale their business. They have limited money because they don't have enough revenue and profit coming in yet. And early on, they have limited talent inside of the company that can help them. That includes limited numbers of people, just not enough people to do more work to drive revenue, but also limited amounts of talent, meaning the people just don't have the right skills yet to be extremely productive or at least to drive revenue in a profitable way. But what I'm going to suggest is that AI provides a way of getting out of this bind. You see, AI is a form of leverage. It enables you to do more with less, meaning it enables an entrepreneur to potentially grow their business, generate more revenue with less cost, meaning more profit. And if you do that the right way, you can reinvest the profits back into the business for further growth. Let me explain. In the beginning, most of the most important information about how to run the business and how to do the work for the business is inside the mind of the entrepreneur or founder or a few key employees. Having said that, the entrepreneur, founder, or key employees often have limited time and they get bogged down not just with doing the work, but also with certain types of administrative tasks. And this makes it very difficult to grow. So, how do you get out of this? There's a few key steps. The first thing is that you want to identify different levels of work, the highest value work and the lowest value work, and everything in between. This is certainly true for the founder, but key employees, everyone else as well. But it's really going to start with the founder. You'll look for the lowest value, easiest to automate work, things like administrative tasks, certain types of communications or customer support. You're going to automate that stuff as much as possible. This, in and of itself, will free up time for the founder or entrepreneur or key employees to focus on higher value work. Next, you're going to look for systematic work. So you're looking for things where there are very clear processes and systems, and you want to map those things out. You also want to try to identify frameworks and playbooks or anything else. You want to try and get this stuff out of the heads of the founder and key employees, map that work out. And in the beginning phases, this probably looks like SOPs, standard operating procedures, just processes that you can write down. Now, interestingly, if you can write it down into text, you can put that into an LLM. And maybe more importantly, over time, instead of just putting it into an LLM, remember LLMs often have context limits. They struggle to remember certain things over time. You might want to take those things and take the processes and systems and frameworks and playbooks, and you might want to build those or put those into a RAG system. A RAG system can operate sort of like an extended long term memory for an LLM. So if you build that right, you map out all of your processes and systems and frameworks. You can take those things and then chunk them. That's how you build a RAG system. You're going to take the information, put it into chunks, build it into a RAG system, and then that number one can serve as a sort of information retrieval system, which will automatically enhance the productivity of your employees, anyways. But later on, you can use such a RAG system as a feeder or as a memory system for an AI agent. This ultimately enables you to automate more work. So, in the first phase that I mentioned before, you're going to automate kind of low value, very, very simple tasks. But here, what I'm talking about is taking higher level work and then turning it into frameworks and systems and playbooks that will be able to feed reasoning and logic for an AI or an AI agent system. This enables you to automate higher value work. Now, if you do this right, a couple things happen. Number one, it makes the founder and key employees simply more productive. So they can drive more revenue, get more done with less time. This is either going to increase the amount of money coming in and or it's going to simply create more time for the founder, which gives them more freedom. Having said that, you can also take that extra money and time and reinvest it into the business. And in particular, you can reinvest it into your employees. So, for example, let's say you have a founder and maybe one higher level employee, but you have a couple of lower level employees. And ideally, you would love to level those people up because if they get higher, it enables them to do more higher order work, take more off of the plate of the founder. The founder can focus on even higher value work, more sales, more business development, things like that. So if you've already produced extra time and money by automating low value work, then mapping out procedures and processes, systematizing things, and automating medium value work, you free up extra time and money. Now you have more time and money to train some of these lower level employees. So you start upskilling those people. And now, from being more like an entry level person, a low level employee, now you have maybe a medium tier person or a higher level person that can replicate more of the work of the founder themselves. So, something that I've been hearing from founders is that they simply don't have enough time to do it all themselves. They need to sort of duplicate themselves. Well, how do you do that? I said earlier, you can automate some of that work, but also some of it is simply from training. But you need enough time and money to do that. How do you do that? You automate the low value work, you automate some medium value work, then you have enough money and time to upskill human beings to do some of the higher order work as well. Ultimately, by making everyone more productive, you get more revenue and more profit. This can further be reinvested back into the business to help it grow. So, if you do this correctly, if you use AI properly, if you automate, upskill, and enhance, it creates a feedback loop, a sort of flywheel that drives more revenue, more money in the business, but ultimately more money and time and freedom for the founder. What do you think? Have you seen this work? Have you encountered any challenges or problems? Are you struggling to implement AI in your business? I am really curious about what you're dealing with. Leave a comment.